Hi, this is an answer to a simple question, number 3, version 2, during the summer of 2011. Setup of this is, as we've had before, each asset is described along this row here. So asset A cost you $21 in period 0 and gives you $31 worth of benefit doing nothing at any other time. Present worth is already calculated for you, all in this column, as are all the internal rates of return, except for this one asset A. So to the first question, internal rate of asset A. This one, all you're doing is finding the interest that makes the present worth 0. So if you look on over this page, what I've done is I've used that short equation that you've seen before, which is the value in period n, value in time period 0, the negative sign in front of it, and then square root, or rather the nth root, where n is the number of periods that values in the future. And you should see that asset A is an internal rate of return of 81.5%. Are those lines? We'll use that in a calculation a little bit later on. Let's move down to the easy one after that, which is question 3, which is at a minimum acceptable rate of return of 10%, no service requirement. Which asset would you choose? Please be sure to explain why this is the best asset. Well, here we're just present worth proceed because that's the easiest one to use. These are all calculated for you. So you pick the with the highest present, boom, and though that would be the one that is for you overall, given that you can only pick one, and that's going to be asset A. 2 requires a little bit of calculation, doing that chain purchase thing. The idea is you need to provide 12 years of service, and you do this by buying one of assets, saying burn out, getting another period 4, getting another one-time period, letting it burn out, and that got you to 12 years. Well, those kinds of chain purchases, the most efficient calculation to make is finding the annual worth of each one of these. So you're just for A, given that you know in each one of those cases. For example, for asset A, it lasts 2 years, shown right over here. So what you're going to do, the annual worth, is 4 points last 2 years. That calculation is shown right here, and that's just look at a P equation, all set up for 10%. And you find out that the annual worth is 2.66. For asset B, it lasts 3 years. You can see it right there, and has a present worth of 3.53. Well, that has an annual worth of 1. Similar for asset C, again, it lasts 4 years. Annual worth of 1.36. 1. And that should be for all the assets. If you look on the key, you can spot it down at the bottom. They're all laid out for you. One, which is the largest. And that's supposed to be asset A again. It happens sometimes. The final question, which is at a minimum acceptable rate of return of 20%, no service requirement, which asset would you choose? This is exclusive choice, but because that minimum acceptable rate of return changed, you have to go ahead and use a different procedure. You can't use the present worth over again because there's no adjustment you can make. So let's go back up at the top, and the rule is that you eliminate all assets with internal rates of return less than minimum acceptable. So you keep asset A because that has a internal rate of return of 21.49. These guys are above 20, so you keep them. This guy isn't. So you've got assets A, B, and C left over. And then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to order them from smallest initial investment to largest. So you first consider C, then you consider B, because it costs you another $1.50 to get into, and then you consider A, that's the one that is the most expensive at $21. So let's first check and see if you should upgrade from your first proposed solution and have the contender to be B. So you check that C to B upgrade, and that's what that value right there is for. You see it's in the B row and C column. That's the incremental internal rate of return. It's 74.43%, which is higher than 20, and so you know you're supposed to upgrade from C to B. So now B's your best candidate, C's gone out, and you got to check and see if you should upgrade from A to B. Well, let's go ahead and check that one. The AB incremental internal rate of return is right there. You see it's in row A, column B, and you find it's 26.39%. Well, guess what? That is greater than 20, and so you see that you should upgrade from B to A. There are no assets left, so A remains your best asset, even when the minimum acceptable rate of return is 20. And so there you go. There's your solution to essential question number 3, version 2, during the summer of 2011.